The battlefield. The first thing Captain Rowan Hale noticed was the smell. Burnt polymer armor. Melted metal. The distinct tang of ozone from overused plasma rifles. And underneath it, blood. Human blood. Alien blood. War, in all its forms, had a universal scent. Rowan moved through the shattered canyon ridge with his squad behind him, boots crunching over scorched sand and crystalline debris. The red dunes of Garrosh had become a graveyard. Smoke plumes rose in thin, ghost-like columns, drifting across the dying light of the twin suns. "Captain," his calm sergeant whispered, motion detectors picking up something 30 meters ahead. "Could be survivors." Rowan raised his fist, halting the squad. His armor, old, patched and battle-worn, creaked as he crouched low. The war had begun 6 months ago, when humanity's mining colony on Garrosh accidentally uncovered a burial vault belonging to the Vokhari Dominion, a powerful, ancient alien empire that had long ago vanished from the galaxy. Their return had been swift, violent, and furious. The Vokhari believed the humans had desecrated sacred ground. Humanity believed the Vokhari were insane. No one was entirely wrong. Rowan moved forward alone, stepping around a destroyed Gravrunner vehicle. A faint, pained sound caught his ear. A voice, weak, trembling, and distinctly alien. He found her half-buried under shattered black stone. A Vokhari woman. Her silver-blue skin was scorched along one arm, and her armor plates, regal violet and ivory, were cracked from impact. She lay face down near a collapsed ridge, blood pooling beneath her like ink. Her breathing was shallow. Rowan lifted his plasma sidearm automatically, instincts kicking in. Vokhari warriors were deadly. Even dying, they could rip a man in half. But something stopped him. Her hand twitched weakly. Not reaching for a weapon. Reaching for something else. Toward the sun.
Toward life.
"Help," she whispered. Her voice was soft. Musical. Nothing like the guttural war cries the Vokhari soldiers broadcast during battle. Rowan hesitated, a dangerous mistake on any battlefield. "Captain," his sergeant called quietly. "You okay up there?" Rowan answered without thinking. "Medic," he said. "Get up here."
"Now."
There was a pause. "Sir, that's an alien warrior." "Just do it." As the medic hurried forward, Rowan holstered his weapon and lifted the broken stones off her body. She gasped loudly as the pressure eased. Her eyes fluttered open, silver irises glowing faintly. She focused on him and whispered something in her people's language. He didn't understand the words, but he recognized the look.
Fear. Pain.
Confusion. "Easy," Rowan said. "We're going to help you." Her hand reached weakly toward him. He took it without hesitation. That choice would reshape the galaxy. Because Vokhari law was clear, helping one of their warriors, saving them, bound you to them by ancient oath. A fact Rowan did not know. A fact the Vokhari would not take lightly. A fact that would ignite a political crisis stretching across the stars. 2. The rescue. They carried the alien woman back to camp on a stretcher. Human soldiers stared as they passed, some in confusion, others in anger. "What the hell is the captain doing?" "Sir, that's a Vokhari. Is he insane?" The medic worked tirelessly, sealing her wounds and injecting antibiotics as Rowan watched with wrinkled brows. He didn't know why he was doing this. Only that something instinctive drove him. A human impulse. Compassion. "Name?" Rowan asked, kneeling beside her as she regained consciousness. She swallowed weakly. Erina." Her voice had a harmonic undertone, almost like two voices speaking as one. "Erina," Rowan repeated, stumbling over the unfamiliar syllables. "I'm Captain Rowan Hale. Union forces. She studied him silently, silver eyes unblinking. You saved me, she said slowly, as if she didn't quite believe it. You were dying. It was the right thing to do. Her eyes widened. The right thing, she echoed, tasting the phrase. Human morality was apparently new to her. Suddenly, she clasped his wrist with surprising strength. You have invoked the Kethtra, she whispered. Rowan frowned. The what? It is an unbreakable oath. You saved my life. You now share my fate. That didn't sound particularly comforting. Before Rowan could ask further, alarms blared through the camp. Incoming Vokari signal, the comms operator shouted. They're demanding immediate parley. The Vokari didn't parley. They declared demands and executed anyone who refused to listen. The medic stood. Sir, what do we do? Rowan exhaled slowly. We meet them. 3. The consequences begin. The Vokari shuttle descended like a blade from the heavens, sleek, obsidian, glowing with runes that pulsed like veins. 3 figures emerged, towering and armored, faces hidden behind ornate silver masks. The camp fell into uneasy silence. 1 figure stepped forward, their leader, judging by the regal armor etched with gold filigree. I am High Warlord Kelatar, the alien declared, voice booming. Where is the human called Rowan Hale? Rowan stepped ahead fearlessly. I'm Rowan, he said. The High Warlord's mask tilted in a slow, predatory way. You have taken a Vokari warrior from the field of battle, he said. I saved her life, Rowan corrected. That, Kelatar hissed, is the problem. A hush fell. The High Warlord gestured sharply. The other 2 soldiers dragged Irina out, still weak, but standing. Her eyes met Rowan's. Fear rippled across her features. No, she cried. Do not punish him. He acted with honor. Silence, Kelatar snapped. You would defy our ways? Rowan stepped forward. This is absurd. She was dying. Anyone with a conscience would have helped. Humans do not understand our laws, the High Warlord replied. Saving a Vokari life binds you by sacred oath. Irina now belongs to you. Rowan blinked. Belongs? As in, Kelatar said slowly. Your responsibility. Your charge. Your life-bound companion. The camp burst into whispers. Rowan went pale. Irina shook her head weakly. He did not know the laws. Kelatar raised a hand, silencing her. The Dominion Council has convened, he announced. This human's actions have triggered an ancient covenant. By law, the Vokari Dominion must negotiate peace. The soldiers around Rowan stared in shock. Peace, someone muttered. Because he saved 1 alien woman? Kelatar turned sharply. Not just any woman. Irina is daughter of the High Matriarch. He saved royal blood. Irina squeezed her eyes shut in embarrassment. Rowan muttered. Of course she's royalty. Kelatar continued. You, Rowan Hale, must come to the Vokari capital world. By law. By oath. To appear before the Dominion Council. And if I refuse? Rowan asked. Kelatar leaned in, silver mask inches from Rowan's face. Then humanity dies. Rowan sighed deeply. Fine. I'll go. Irina's lips parted slightly, relief washing over her. Then prepare yourself, Kelatar said. Your actions have changed the fate of 2 civilizations. 4. The Dominion capital. The Vokari homeworld, Varanthus, was unlike anything Rowan had seen. Towering crystalline spires pierced the violet sky. Floating platforms hovered effortlessly through the air. Rivers of liquid light, actual bioluminescent plasma, flowed between massive temples. The Vokari population regarded Rowan with a mixture of curiosity and hostility. Some bowed mockingly. Some bared teeth. Some whispered words like Kethtra, and the human like it was a prophecy. Irina led Rowan through the halls of the Dominion Citadel, her steps still unsteady. You shouldn't be walking, Rowan muttered. I am Vokari royalty, she said, trying to stand taller. We show no weakness. He caught her arm as she stumbled. You can show it around me. I don't judge. Her cheeks flushed faintly, a shimmering silver glow. You are very strange, Rowan Hale. I get that a lot. They entered the Grand Hall, an enormous chamber where the Dominion Council convened. Dozens of Vokari nobles stood above them on tiered platforms. An old, imposing woman with a crown of glowing tendrils stepped forward. The High Matriarch. Irina stiffened. Mother. The matriarch ignored her, focusing entirely on Rowan. Her silver eyes were piercing, like twin moons judging him. You saved my daughter, she said. Yes, Rowan replied. Why? Rowan took a slow breath. Because she needed help. A simple reason, the matriarch said. A human reason. She circled him, studying him like a strange creature. The Vokari believe strength defines value, she said. Mercy is seen as weakness. But your mercy has forced our hand. Rowan raised an eyebrow. Forced you into peace talks. Yes, she said bitterly. By ancient law. You invoked sacred binding. You are now, symbolically, part of our royal bloodline. Rowan choked. Excuse me? Irina covered her face. I tried to explain. The entire council murmured. The matriarch raised her arms. By tradition, the human must undergo the rite of ascendance to prove worth. What exactly does that involve? Rowan asked cautiously. Irina whispered, surviving. Rowan grimaced. The rite of ascendance. The next morning, Rowan stood in an arena surrounded by thousands of Vokari citizens. Irina watched nervously from the stands. The matriarch presided from a high throne. Kalatar approached Rowan, handing him a metal staff. Try not to die. It would be inconvenient. Comforting, Rowan muttered. The ground trembled. A towering creature rose from the arena floor, a six-limbed crystalline beast with claws like blades and glowing eyes. A Vorathian Wyram, Kalatar said casually. Sacred guardian beast. Only those worthy may face it. Rowan stared. You could have mentioned the giant death lizard earlier. It slipped my mind. The Wyram screeched, its body refracting sunlight into blinding beams. Rowan barely managed to roll aside as it lunged. He swung the staff, striking its armored side with no effect. Great, he muttered. This is fine. Totally fine. Irina shouted from the stands. Rowan, aim for its thorax. The joint between plates there. He nodded and sprinted, dodging attacks with agility that surprised even him. He jammed the staff into the WIRM's joint. It shrieked in pain, thrashing wildly. Rowan climbed onto its back, gripping its shards like handholds. With a final heave, he drove the staff deeper. The WIRM collapsed, defeated. The arena fell silent. Then, cheers erupted. Vokari soldiers saluted him. Nobles bowed their heads. Even the matriarch looked mildly impressed. Irina rushed forward, breathless. You survived, she exclaimed. Rowan cracked a smile. You gave great directions. Before she could respond, the matriarch raised her voice. The human has proven his worth, she declared. The rite is complete. Let the peace negotiations begin. 6. The political battle. Peace negotiations were brutal, not physically but politically. Vokari nobles were prideful, stubborn, and often openly hostile toward humanity. Rowan was not a trained diplomat, but he was honest, direct, and surprisingly clever at reading people. Irina acted as his guide and advisor. The Vokari fear appearing weak, she told him between sessions. If they think you are bending, they will crush you. Good to know, Rowan said. So be confident. Assert dominance. Basic politics. That is one interpretation, she said, amused.
He grinned.
Don't worry. I'll improvise. And improvise he did. When noble houses demanded punitive sanctions against humans, Rowan countered with stories of human resilience, sacrifice, and cooperation. When nobles mocked humanity's softness, Rowan challenged them with logic and unexpected insights. When the matriarch questioned human motives, Rowan replied with brutal honesty. We don't want to dominate you, he told her. We just want to exist without being exterminated. Silence filled the chamber. Irina looked at him with admiration and something deeper. The breakthrough came unexpectedly. During the final session, the matriarch addressed Rowan privately. My daughter speaks of you often, she said quietly. She says your people have a strange strength, a strength we have forgotten. Rowan bowed politely. We're all trying to survive. The matriarch studied him, eyes softening. Perhaps we can survive together. With her support, the Dominion Council ratified the Treaty of Varanthus, ending the war. Humanity rejoiced. But the galaxy was only beginning to change. 7. Unexpected ties. Peace was fragile, but real. Rowan became an ambassador, representing humanity at the Dominion Court. Irina acted as his liaison, advisor, and, though neither admitted it yet, trusted friend. She often joined him during diplomatic meetings, whispering translations and cultural advice. But as weeks passed, they spent more time together outside political duties, walking through crystalline gardens, studying ancient Vokari texts, sharing meals in the Citadel dining halls, learning each other's customs. One evening, beneath the glowing rivers of light, Irina stopped walking and turned to Rowan. I've been thinking, she said softly. That sounds dangerous, Rowan teased. She smiled, glowing faintly. You saved my life. That created the Kethtra bond. But bonds can change. They can evolve. Rowan's heart quickened. Evolve into what? She stepped closer. Into choice, she whispered. Into something stronger. Rowan inhaled slowly. Are you saying? She interrupted gently, placing a hand on his chest. I am saying that I choose you.
Not by law.
Not by oath. By heart. Rowan swallowed hard. Aaron?
I.
A sudden, booming alarm cut through their moment. A Dominion soldier sprinted toward them. Ambassador. Princess Irina. You must come at once. The matriarch has summoned an emergency council. Rowan frowned. What happened? The soldier hesitated. It is the other Vokari houses. They reject the treaty. They see your bond as a threat. They demand blood. 8. The second crisis. The Dominion Council chamber erupted in chaos. Nobles shouted at one another, hurling accusations. He has corrupted her. This bond is forbidden. He seeks power through her. Break the Kethtra. End the human. Rowan stood at the center of the room beside Irina, hands clenched. The matriarch slammed her staff down. Enough. The noise died instantly. She turned to Rowan, expression heavy. Some houses demand that the human ambassador relinquish all rights gained through the right. They fear your influence. Rowan nodded slowly. So, they want me gone. More than that, she said. They want you dead. Irina stepped forward. Mother, no. He has done nothing wrong. Kelatar entered, expression grim. The dissenting houses have awakened ancient war protocols. If the matriarch does not act, they may attempt a coup. Irina grabbed Rowan's hand protectively. You cannot let them harm him, she cried. The matriarch closed her eyes. When she opened them, she looked older, weighted by history. "Rowan Hale," she said quietly, "what do you propose?" Rowan breathed deeply. "I propose unity." Kelatar barked a laugh. "You propose suicide." "No," Rowan said, voice steady. "I propose a challenge." Everyone stared. "Challenge?" the matriarch asked. Rowan stepped into the center of the chamber. "I challenge the dissenting houses to the trial of truth." Gasps echoed. Irina whispered urgently, "Rowan, the trial of truth is dangerous. They will try to kill you. Then they'll see what humans are made of." Rowan replied softly. Kelatar snorted. "Finally, something interesting." 9. The Trial of Truth. The trial took place on a circular platform suspended over a roaring energy storm on Varanthus. The platform hummed with ancient technology. Representatives of the dissenting houses stepped forward. Warriors, elite fighters, all heavily armed. Rowan held only a short spear and a shield. Irina stood at the edge, trembling. "Please don't die." Rowan smiled. "I'll do my best." The matriarch raised her staff. "The trial begins." The first warrior lunged. Rowan blocked, sidestepped, and used their momentum to send them crashing off the platform. The energy storm consumed them in a flash. The crowd roared. Another warrior attacked with twin blades, slashing furiously. Rowan deflected, parried, and forced them backward until they slipped and fell into the storm. A third warrior fought savagely, but Rowan's endurance and human unpredictability gave him the edge. He knocked them out with a shield bash. One by one, Rowan defeated them. Finally, the last challenger, a massive Vokari champion, stepped forward. "You are strong," the champion admitted. "Thanks," Rowan grunted. "I've had a long week." The champion attacked like a meteor. Rowan barely dodged, rolling under an energy blade. He struck the champion's leg, jumped onto their back, and drove the spear into a vulnerable seam in their armor. The champion roared, stumbled, and toppled off the platform. Silence. Then thunderous applause. Rowan collapsed, exhausted. Irina rushed to him, falling to her knees and cradling him. "You survived. You actually survived." He smiled weakly. "Told you I'd try." The matriarch stepped forward. "The human has proven himself," she declared. "The treaty stands. The dissenters have no claim." Peace, true peace, finally settled over Varanthus. Epilogue: A Galactic Future. Months later, Earth and the Vokari Dominion formed a formal alliance, one that reshaped galactic politics. Humans gained access to advanced technology. The Vokari gained newfound respect for compassion. Trade routes opened. Joint colonies formed. Former enemies became partners. And Rowan Hale became the bridge between their worlds. One evening, overlooking the glowing rivers of Varanthus, Irina stood beside Rowan quietly. "So," Rowan said, "what happens now?" Irina slipped her hand into his. "Now," she said softly, "we build a future. Together." Rowan smiled. "That sounds like a plan." She leaned her head against his shoulder. "You pulled me from the battlefield," she whispered. "And in doing so, you pulled our peoples from the edge of extinction." Rowan kissed her forehead gently. "Well," he murmured, "I'm glad I didn't leave you there." Above them, the stars shifted. Two civilizations finally aligned. And the consequences of one human's compassion had become truly galactic.